Welcome to Fast Money. This video is brought to you by the coach. Remember, always our job is to make you rich. If you're a new subscriber, welcome aboard and thank you for joining us. If not yet, please hit the subscribe button. If you are new to Fast Money, here is what to expect from watching this video. We will go through the economic calendar and we will have a look at the main movers of the market. Then we will do a technical review of a selected group of financial assets. And at the last, we will shortlist the best trades of the day in our opinion. Economic calendar for today, Wednesday, from Australia. We are waiting for the RBA Governor Louis speech and GDP quarter to quarter, GDP year to year, and other GDP related figures. From UK, we're waiting for Bank of England MPC member Saunders speech, and from Japan, we are waiting for the household spending year to year and month to month, and Bank of Japan board member Harada speech. From the United States, we are waiting for the ADP non-farm employment change, which is a market mover, very important. Trade balance and imports, exports, and FOMC members will have speeches scheduled tomorrow. We are waiting from Canada for the IV PMI and rate decision and trade balance and labor productivity. That's all for the economic calendar. We'll move on now to the analysis of major fundamentals which have affected the markets in the last trading session. We had an upbeat release of data from the United States. We got the home sales increased by 3.7% in December, impressive. We got also the ISM non-manufacturing PMI rose to 59.7 against 57.3 forecast. We had also Fed member Rosengren. He said that the outlook on need for another rate hike depends on the economy. It was neglected by the other released data from Fed Kaplan. Also, he said rising corporate debt is the reason for the patience on the interest rate hikes. And from Fed Kashkari, we had also uncertainty surrounding China trade could have a big impact on the U.S. economy, and also was neglected by the data released today. That's it for the economic calendar and the analysis of major fundamentals. Start our technical review with the major currencies, and we will start with the Australian dollar against the US dollar. We had the open today at 70,890, the high at 70,950, and the low at 70,570. The change is neutral. We are still under the daily moving averages, and the RSI 4 hours 45 in the neutral, and 1 day 42 still bearish, and the first support at 7640 and the first resistance 7120. Moving on to the British pound against the US dollar, the open was 131,770, the high 131,970, and the low 139,960. The change is still neutral, okay, and we are above the moving averages with RSI 4 hours bullish and RSI 1 day bullish. The first support at 140 and the first resistance at 132,140. Moving on to the euro got ahead today, though the data was very good. The BMI data was very good. Okay, we had open at 113,350 and the high at 113,370 and the low at 112,880. The change is negative. We are under the moving averages, and the RSI 4 hours 34 and 1 day 41. The first support at 112,830 and first resistance at 113,320. Moving into the Japanese yen US dollar against the Japanese yen, we had the open at 111,775, the high 112,120 and the low 111,770. The change is positive. We are above the moving averages, strongly bullish, and RSI for the 4 hours 61, for the 1 day 68. First support at 111,700 and first resistance 112,60. Moving on to the US dollar against the Canadian dollar, we had the open at 133. 100 and the high at 133,600 and the low at 133.80. The change is positive. We are strongly bullish above the moving averages, and the RSI 4 hours 69, the RSI 1 day 59 bullish, and first support 133.90 and first resistance 133,580. Moving on to the USD against the Swiss franc, the open was 99,990 and the high $1.510 and the low 99,880. 88, and the it's strongly bullish. RSI is bullish, and the first support at $1.03, and the first resistance at $1.660. Moving on to the dollar index, the open was at 96,600, and the high 96,945, and the low at 96,580. The change is positive. It's strongly bullish with the upbeat economic data released today, and the first support at 96,570, first resistance 96,940. We'll move on now to the commodities, and we'll start the commodities with the gold. The gold today is better than yesterday. The open is 1,287, and the high is 1,289, and the low is 1,281. The change might be neutral. The first support is at 1,281, and the first resistance at 1,289. Good thing about the gold, we started to see the bulls coming back into the picture, into the 1 hour and 4 hours chart. Hopefully this momentum will build, but we have to consider the strong US dollar, and we'll wait tomorrow for the NFP and employment change. It's a market mover. Moving on to the indices, with the we'll start with the Standard Poor's. S&P 500. The open was 2,791, the high to 2,798, and the low 2,783. It's strongly bullish, and the change is positive. First support at 2,784, and first resistance at 2,799. Nasdaq 100, the open was at 7,143, the high 7,178, and the low is 7,123. The change is positive, and we are strongly bullish. Support is 7,135, and resistance 7,188. For the Dow Jones, we had the open at 25,808, and the high 25,888, and the low at 25,720. Change is positive. Still bullish, and we have the support at 25,730, and the resistance at the 25,900. The best trades for today, in our opinion, with the consideration of the strong US dollar, especially after the data which have been released today, we do advise you to buy the USD against the Japanese yen, and the USD against the Canadian dollar, and the USD against the Swiss franc. Avoid the euro and the pound for now. Also, we advise you to buy the gold if it drop to 1,275 to 1,278, with a target of 1,295. Gold is showing signs of recovery, and hopefully this recovery can take the gold to 1,300 again, but this is all under one condition, that the ADP employment change, which is scheduled to be released tomorrow, to become in a negative reading. If it's negative, we may see the gold above 1,300 again. If no, it will be the other way around. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching this video, and please share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in another video tomorrow.